Everyone. I hope you've been enjoying yourself. It's been a good day so far, and this is one particular session I've been looking forward to. It's a lovely panel discussion that we have. So, in this panel, we have three speakers. One of our speakers is running a little late, but we said, let's go ahead and start. It's good to start on time, and we'd love to get going. So, let me start by introducing our speakers. So I really want the speakers to actually introduce themselves in their own words, so I won't really take too much time introducing our speakers, but joining us today, we have Mr. Vinamra Agrawal from Brand Hero Design and Ratika Rastogi from Armoa's Atelier. Now, we also have Ms. Divya Verma joining us. So she's running a little late, but let's get started. So firstly, let me say thank you for making time in your day and being here. I'm sure there are so many students in the audience here today that would really appreciate hearing from you. Let's unpack what it takes to succeed as a creative professional. There's so many different things that we can discuss, and I'm sure it's going to be a very exciting and very engaging discussion. So, may I request both of you, one by one, of course, to start by telling us a little bit about your background. Let us know about your life story. Where you started, what you studied, and things like that.
You want to go ahead? Hi everyone. I am Vinamra, and I am the founder of Brand Hero Design, which is almost a decade old now. And so I am an engineer by education, and I ended up being in the design space. I ended up being a founder of a design company, which happened purely by way of passion. Now, a strong believer of, doing what we love is what led me to explore synergies and figure out, okay, what is that I do best or I can do best. I ended up also taking a course on MBA where I learned the business aspects of things, and which led me again to look towards design as a business need. And over time, it's just everything fell in place naturally, because it's just about being up to date and being up to mark with what you want to do and how can you help others in the industry. So started with like very small baby steps of working with known people, known network, and helping them out with small projects. So what Brand Hero does before that is, so we are a UX UI design agency, and we have our headquarters in Bangalore. And we work across the world, especially in the Silicon Valley. And I think we've worked with more than 200 people, 200 companies till date, small and big like Intel, Philips, and others. And so one of the smallest things we do is also web design. And so that's how it started. I thought, okay, it'll be a good idea to start with, one of my uncle needs a website. Okay, that's a good way to kind of go and do that for him. And if he likes it, why not? So these baby steps is what led me, kind of growing one step at a time, and then things started to fall in place. And we never realized that, okay, when we grew as a company and we kind of touched new boundaries of the world and did a lot of different types of work, not just say web design for that matter. And especially we are at a cusp of technology revolution today, where there is an innovation happening every single day. And we believe that it's just about keeping us up to date and making sure still that what we love, we should do that. And that's what led us where we are today. And that's what led me where I am today as well. So it's never a dull day. I never get up in the morning thinking it's work. It is super exciting. It's super energetic for me. I'm looking forward to the next day every evening. And that's what I recommend everybody to do as well. Do what you love.
Awesome. So. That's really good advice, yeah. We really appreciate it when people from the industry come for the event, and I feel that in a way we're fortunate that Vinamra, even though he's based in Bangalore mostly, he was just happened to be this side of the country at this time, and so nice of you to come from Kanpur. I know you are based in Kanpur, so for you to take the effort to come to Lucknow and speak to students, I think we're all very fortunate. So thanks for that.
My pleasure.
Ratika, please, let's hear from you.
Hi, good evening, guys. I'm Ratika Rastogi. Is this fine? Yeah. Okay, people. So I founded this company, Armoy's Design Atelier, in 2016. So this is into designing women's wear. And I began with B2B initially, and now we're venturing into retail space also very shortly. My background goes like my graduation and post-graduation have been in fashion field all throughout. So I was very clear since the beginning, although I had bio in class 12 because I wanted to secure good marks. So I was very sure that first I'll secure a good percentage, after which obviously I'll get into fashion. So my background goes as in my graduation was from Pearl Academy of Fashion and then master's from London College of Fashion. In between, I worked with Madra Garments in Bangalore. I was with them for 2 years, and then I worked with Gap in London, and then I worked with All Saints, which is again a UK brand in London. So after which I came to Lucknow, my hometown, and that's where I started working. So what I need to when Amitji offered this opportunity, I said, of course, what better than, because there was a time when we were on the other side, and we used to be listening to a lot of other industry members this side and to understand what best can we learn from them. So I think this session is going to be very interesting. Just follow your calling. That's all I have to say. That all of us are unique in different ways. I understand that sometimes, it's like peer pressure, कि वो एक कॉलेज में जा रहा है तो हमें भी उसी कॉलेज में साथ जाना है, दोस्ती निभानी है, वो सब भी है. But alongside, I would say that you really need to sit in quiet and think कि आप क्या करना चाहते हो. Because, there are various fields out there, but there are so many streams of one particular field only that it may just be little overwhelming. कितना सारा कुछ है तो हम, ये भी अच्छा लग रहा है, ये भी अच्छा लग रहा है, ये भी अच्छा लग रहा है. तो वो चीज़ अभी से ही आपको अपना फिगर आउट करना होगा. Where you really need to sit in quiet, think what exactly do you want to do, what are your strengths and weaknesses, introspect करो, दूसरों से पूछो मेरी क्या strengths है, घर से पूछो, friends लोग से पूछो, journal and note that down because only then will you trickle and come to what your final strengths are. So that's all. I won't take much of your time. The rest we'll take up in the session. Thank you.
Awesome. So nice once again to hear from you, Ratika. And it's amazing that you have come back to your hometown, doing something that you love, and I think that's one thing that both of you have in common, right? So if you enjoy doing what you do, life is so much easier because you're really doing something that you like. And Divya, thank you for joining us. We were just starting with a quick round of self-introductions, where we're just giving students some context about our respective backgrounds. So, may I also request you to tell students about
Hi
your background?
everyone, this is Divya. I'm a landscape architect working with Adani Airports. I am practicing for the past 10 years and I did my post-graduation from Pune BNCA. And from there on, I started exploring landscape in all different walks of life. There are a lot of different projects which we can entail into and design. So if you're interested in doing concepts and site planning, I'm sure there are several fields in the field of architecture related to urban planning, designing, master planning, and then there's landscape, sustainability, because they take care of macro level and micro level both. So we have to actually be very sure about what we want to do in life. And I will just add to what my peers have said, that you have to follow your passion when you are doing your graduation. I'm sure many of you will not have an idea what to do next, kya karna hai zindagi mein, life mein. We also had those same questions. But the only thing is that you have to keep on working hard as much as you can, and रास्ता अपने आप बन जाता है. Yeah.
Awesome. So I think we've had a lovely round of introductions, and as you would have seen, I think we're really lucky and fortunate that we have people from different domains and backgrounds. So you have Vinamra from UX, UI design, Webflow, web design, graphic design, brand strategy. We have Ratika from fashion design. And interestingly, she's done B2B, but now she's getting into a B2C space. I'm sure you have a lot of future customers sitting in the audience here. and then you have, Divya from architecture, landscape design, so spatial design, so interesting. You touched upon sustainability, and I think two common themes that we see touching upon in design subjects is one is AI and one is sustainability. It's like the where we are, where we find ourselves right now. It's so important to pay attention to this. So how do you focus? How do you make sustainability a central part of your design process?
See, it's more or less to do with your education, because when you enroll yourself into some kind of design course, they are very different from BTech, because any art or architecture related subject is all about passion, and your passion and creativity go together, because it's and the byproduct of all of it is innovation. So once you get into those lines, you will be able to define what clicks for you. For me, when I did my graduation, I was clueless about master plans, or how to design, how to do feasibility of a site, how to check that. So my weakness was landscape, and I wanted to do a lot in this particular field. So I challenged myself, got into a tight spot, but still was able to crack the post-graduation entrance. And when I enrolled for post-graduation, the kind of education they give is that in those 2 years, they make you ready for what is going to come next for your entire life. So therein I was able to identify what are my weaknesses, what are my strengths, and accordingly create opportunities. And trust me on this, that whatever course you are into, they will definitely guide you. Your teachers will train your brains. Okay, it is all about training your brains, and इसको एक हैबिट बनाना पड़ता है. आप कोई भी चीज़ 20-21 दिन करोगे ना लगातार, वो आपकी हैबिट बन जाएगा. तो इफ़ यू आर एंटरिंग इनटू आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर ना, आपको डूडल करना, स्केच करना, मतलब कैसे यहाँ से इधर से फैशन डिज़ाइनिंग का हो गया, या इंटरैक्शन डिज़ाइन हो गया, या आर्किटेक्चर. इट इज़ ऑल अबाउट like believing in yourself first of all, and then taking the entire process, whatever is being taught, to the T. You have to follow it, and you have to read a lot. उससे क्या होगा कि आप जाके अपने टीचर्स को क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो, उनको पूछ सकते हो कि ये पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक आपने कवर किया, बट इसके अलावा और क्या, what all I can do, because 5 साल ना बहुत कम होते हैं. Your entire life you have to keep on learning and learning and learning. तो उस हिसाब से देन फॉर मी आई वुड से कि जब मैंने मास्टर प्लानिंग में ये चेक किया कि जो हमारे जो डिज़ाइन है वो मेरा वीक पॉइंट था, ठीक है, साइट प्लानिंग, फिर वहाँ से मैंने कैसे उसको सस्टेनेबिलिटी की तरफ डाला. देयर वर एनवायरमेंटल कोर्सेज, साइट कोर्सेज एंड वर्कशॉप्स इनटू विच द टीचर्स आल्सो यूज्ड टू आस्क अस टू गेट एनरोल्ड. वहाँ पे जा के मैंने सीखा कि ये चीज़ें कैसे आती हैं. नाउ व्हेन आई एम लाइक फास्ट फॉरवर्ड 10 years नाउ फ्रॉम वट एवर वी डिड इन एनवायरमेंट, अभी क्या है कि हर जगह पे AI आ जाता है, ठीक है. AI से डरना नहीं है. लॉट ऑफ places you will hear that it is going to kill your jobs, but what you have to do is that you have to learn AI to help you in whatever you are doing. तुम्हारा टाइम कम करो, ठीक है, तुम्हारे पास में डिज़ाइन ऑप्शंस बहुत होने चाहिए, तो उसमें AI हेल्प करता है. उसके हिसाब से आप आगे प्लान कर सकते हो कि कैसे इसको लेके जाना है. It's a kind of a marriage between technology and sustainability.
Okay, how interesting. At this point, let me ask both of you also to comment on this. I'd love to hear from you about trends that you're seeing in your domain. So, Ratika, maybe you can answer that from the perspective of fashion, and Vinamra for you from the context of UX.
Yes, so as she mentioned that AI definitely is now, it's something like, entering a coffee shop and not having a Wi-Fi. That's not possible, right, guys, nowadays? So AI is like that, literally. Fashion and tech, AI has to be incorporated because there are a lot of digital products we're using in gaming. Digital garments are being used in gaming, in virtual reality, in metaverse, So AI definitely. Secondly, we're seeing a lot of bio-generative materials like, fabrics from mushroom, or if you read on materials from seaweed, or biolab-generated silk, So we're working a lot around that as well. Thirdly, there is wearable technology. I'm sure you must have heard of, there are going to be fibers which are going to be tracking your health. So that is very interesting. Then we have, these fabrics which will sense light and motion detection. So you must have heard of that as well. So there are a few trends like these, and also as far as luxury is concerned, we are heading into quiet luxury. You know, if you have heard of brands like Celine, you see their logo is very simple and classy. So we are moving into something very quiet and understated. अब वो loud वाला नहीं चलता है, branding ये वो उधर नहीं, उसमें अब there is no future in there. It's more quiet, And alongside quiet luxury, there is also a very good range of dopamine dressing. You've heard of dopamine dressing, like pop colors inspired by pop cultures. Like those bright color, neon color palette, happy dressing, especially after COVID. It is like lifting up your mood. There are a lot of brands which have gotten into that. Ye hai, plus there are a lot of gender fluidity garments that we are seeing. So if you see, there are garments which are unisex. There are a lot of garments which guys wear, those anti-boxy Metallica type t-shirts and that kind of vibe. So we have the gender fluidity garments also that we see. So yes, but definitely in nutshell, if I have to see the emergent trends, AI will top the list. So you can't now imagine fashion design to be just sewing and stitching and pattern making. Ab wo nahi hai. Ab it is technology incorporated. You have to know Clo 3D for draping. You have to know marvelous designer software, the AI tool. You have to start exploring other AI tools which are for fashion designers. Because uske bina ab chalega nahi. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, please.
What you just said is actually a big boost for my industry, if I may say that way. So this is what we are, right? Software, tech, creativity in that. So if all the industries are kind of, converging towards the need of tech, it's always an enabler. It's always been an enabler. And it's even more so with AI coming in. So the thing I'm going to be telling you about some trends which everybody uses on their phones every day. There are apps. Right? There are apps everywhere. Be it if you sit in your car, there's an app. If you watch a TV, then there's an app. If you open your phone, that's an app. So what essentially is going to happen with AI coming in again, the adaptability of these apps is going to be going to the next level. So today you go and say open a Myntra app and you try to you search, you find your kind of age group and your kind of clothes you're looking for to buy, and you search and you get there. The future is, we are already, by the way, working on those sides. That's why I'm kind of know this, is the app adapts based on your preference and your history. The moment you open the app, it automatically knows what kind of things you like from your history. It tells you what kind of things you might be needing at that point in time because you already had bought last time when, based on that. So this is hyper-personalization of apps, which is happening. And applies to every industry, everywhere, be it travel apps, be it book shopping apps. Another big trend today is, apps are a reflection of your own personality today. For the same thing, there are 5 apps existing or 10 apps existing. Why would you choose to pick one over other? Assuming the price is same, so this price is one of the determiners today, but assuming the price is same for the same product across 5 apps, how would you choose an Amazon versus a Flipkart, or say assuming there are same, like there's some service issues I know for Flipkart, but people prefer Amazon for that reason. But let's say Myntra or Ajio, they'll be similar in terms of service. Then why one over other? The reason is apps are a reflection of your own self today, because you spend so much time in front of screens today, everywhere, that you will only resonate with those things which you find more amusing and more closer to yourself. So if it doesn't talk to you and you don't feel a part of you in that, you will not use that particular thing. And this is exactly, it's a reflection of yourself. And as we progress, there'll be more and more screens in our lives, be it watch, be it TV, as simple as TV, right? So I have a 2-year-old daughter of mine. Now she's already touching the phone and trying to hit on the screen already, because she's seeing us all the time doing that. A 2-year-old I've never seen a 2-year-old doing that, but yeah, today that's what it is. And so these are like 2 big trends I see, which are shaping technology, like they're transforming the tech industry or screen or app industry in general, if I say. And one more thing, which is very, very affecting the way we work is automations. So when I say automations, I mean things will happen on own. You do not need to take action on performing a certain task for your need. You just, of course, we're not there that you have to think and it'll be done, but still, you will have to set some rules and they will just be performed and executed based on whenever, and the system will determine when you need that to be done. A very simple example, in your fridge, the groceries finishing. Now it orders automatically to the grocery store. It gets replenished. Those kind of things. So this is where we are heading to, hyper-personalization and automations. There are a lot of other applications, but I think I'll stop here, and these are like broad ways of looking at how technology is shaping ourselves today.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing. The world that we're living in now is changing so rapidly, and I think that you could say that even, say, 5 years back or 10 years back, but that thing is even more true today. And that example that you gave about the fridge placing an order for your next food item, it's a combination of so many different things, right? So it's telecom technology, 5G technology, combining with IoT, combining with AI, all working together, and it's so amazing. And I can imagine a future, so many fashion designers are creating the identity based on the cut that they make. But imagine a garment in the future which, you buy something that you like, and then when you wear it, you hear one small sound, scanning body type. And then the garment will auto-adjust to your shape so that you get the perfect fit of your jeans. You don't have to go to a tailor and say, can you make this little looser, or can I make this little shorter? That garment will auto-adjust to you if you have nanotechnology inbuilt into that fabric.
I'd like to add to that. There's an application which we worked on. It's a Switzerland-based company. They are making face creams for people to use. Now they have an AI-based app which analyzes your skin type, and based on that, it suggests you which cream to use, version of their cream to use. Wow. So already that's happening, and I've seen that in action. These kind of things. Amazing. And so this is how it is affecting our lives. It's going to be continuing affecting our lives going forward. And one more thing I never mentioned about the personal brand aspect, how important brand is today compared to every other historical data if you see. Like I said, the reason you buy from a particular type of business is because of the certain way the brands talk to you, right? And this will keep branding at a new pedestal for every business out there. Even from a personal brand perspective, you end up buying from say a person who is a reflection, who kind of showing themselves on the brand. They are basically, it is how they present themselves. You buy from people and not from business sometimes, because the personality of that person is so strong that it oozes in the brand of which they sell. And so I think people are investing more than ever in personal brands today, and to come up with telling their stories, coming up with talking about how they have achieved certain things and how can they help others as much as possible. So it's very, very important today to not leave the personal brand behind.
Amazing. I have one more question to ask, and it's about really, there's so many students out here that may want to choose different streams, right? So someone might want to be into fashion design, someone may want to go into interior design or UX or animation or gaming. It's great. But the question they may be asking themselves is that, what can I do to succeed? Are there specific attitudes that I should incorporate or mindsets that I should adopt that can really help me succeed as a creative professional? So drawing on your experience, we'd love to hear from each of you on this particular point. And, perhaps Ratika, you can start.
I think that's the most important part to begin with. See, like I said, first, since you guys are at a stage where you're venturing out, you have to now step out and see what course works for you. What's most important is to sit in the quiet, take a journal, write down what is it, what are your strengths, weaknesses, find your calling. At least zero down on one thing that, आप क्या बातें करते हो? Yeah, I'll tell you the advice I was given and I still stick by it. I was told, when you read magazines, okay, ऐसे पलटते ना पन्ने, कहाँ पे नज़र रुकती है? Take a note of that. किस चीज़ पे you stepping to read? What kind of binge watching are you doing? What kind of content are you watching? What kind of content are you talking? What books are you reading? That all makes you, and that'll be different for everybody. So that is the basis to first understand what are your thoughts. I didn't know until I got into college, and this was the advice I received in London from one of a group who was heading LVMH at that point in time. They said just figure that out, but वो करने के लिए आपको अपनी noise से हटना होगा. अभी क्या होता है ना, peer pressure कि ये बात, ये course trending है, let's do this and let's go here. So you're in the noise right now, but you go sit in the quiet, शांति में बैठ के पहले ये लिखो. So this will help you understand what is it that you really want. That's extremely important in a field like this. क्योंकि आप बाहर जाओगे, there are going to be people from various cities, colleges, countries, different opinions, lifestyle, choices. ज़रूरी नहीं है आपने जो बोला वो उनको समझ में आए. Like I was in London and I could figure that out, and I learned from my peers. We are sitting in a group discussion, and there are people from other countries, contributing, brainstorming हो रही है कि अच्छा इस project में हमें ये करना है. एक ने कहा नहीं packaging ऐसे करेंगे, दूसरे का नहीं ये हम ये करेंगे. But I saw that there was such a collaborative effort. People respect each other. They respect viewpoints. ये नहीं कि तुम हटो, मैंने जो बोला वो सही. Not like that, right? So I feel that kind of approach where you're working like a team, where you're respecting each other, and when you want to even turn down ना, चलो किसी को बोलना है कि नहीं यार, ये मुझे ठीक लग रहा है, तो उसको भी एक ढंग से बोलो. That I respect your point, but how about this? Can we think like this? There are ways to talk. So that brings about a lot of teamwork into your system and eases out things. So keep that kind of a mindset. Also, try and help each other as much as possible. I understand it's a very competitive world. Competition अपनी जगह है. बट जितना दूसरों के लिए करोगे ना, ये नहीं कि ये मेरा है, ये मैं दिखा नहीं सकता. फिर ऐसे ओ यार प्लीज उसने देख तो नहीं, उसने मेरी चीट कर ली. वी हैव बिन थ्रू दैट यार, ऑल ऑफ अस हैव बिन थ्रू दैट. क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है, क्या कोई कर लेगा. नोबडी इज गोइंग टू टेक योर थॉट एंड योर विजन अवे, राइट? So help as much, because more you help, you don't know, you will get help from outside sources at the time when you need it the most. I've experienced that in my real life. So when you have that kind of attitude, you become industry ready. People notice you. Your faculties will notice you कि ये बंदा अलग है. You will get opportunity likewise. So don't be selfish. Just keep doing. वो कहते हैं ना नेकी कर दरिया में डाल. Have that kind of stuff, yeah.
Amazing. Divya, please, let's hear from you as well.
So for me, what I would say rather can work for any and everyone is that no matter we come from many different fields, we have to focus on design. And once when you focus on design, you have to eat, sleep, and breathe it. That is the only answer and only way you can succeed in life. As Ratika said that आपको अपना niche find करना है, उसमें अपना best देना है, आप automatically score करोगे और बहुत आगे निकल जाओगे. ठीक है? And something which clicked for me through 7 years of education was doing analysis. Critical design time and analysis. Site suitability, sustainability, बहुत चीज़ें होती है, but analysis कर लो, design automatically आपका बहुत अच्छा होगा. And you have to identify if your design is universal or if your design is particularly for a niche or a singular problem which you want to cater to and add. और जो इतने trends हैं ना, just look whatever is happening around in the world. Say for example, we can take the possibility of the COVID period. ठीक है, उसमें जितना ज़्यादा आप डिज़ाइन समझते हो ना कि मतलब मेक एंड ब्रेक या रीयूजेबल, रिसाइकेबल, तो ये जो 3 hours होते हैं, इसके हिसाब से कितनी सारी चीज़ें डिज़ाइन हुई हैं. तो आप आपदा में विपदा में आपदा, what's yeah, yeah. So that is something which you have to find. You can score anywhere. If you have to shine, then there has to be something which makes you different from the rest of your peers. Usko pakad lo, that will take you to places.
I have 2 more points. Just 30 seconds.
Please, go ahead.
Okay, guys. So another most important thing is that when you step out into the real world, there will be lot of rejections. Turn down कर देंगे मुंह पे, नहीं चल रहा, नहीं हो रहा. You know,
The
don't.
design you've made is not good.
Yeah, they'll throw in your face like, what crap? Just do it again. So that you have to build a lot of emotional resilience for. कि rejection है ना, तो उसको positive लो कि rejection is like redirection. मतलब कुछ और होने वाला है. कुछ और अच्छाई के लिए ये मेरा reject हुआ है. So don't get disheartened. Don't take anything personally. Got it? Because उसमें भी कुछ learning है, वो हो रहा है आपके साथ कुछ आपको सिखाने के लिए. To be open to that. कि ये चीज़ मुझे क्या सिखा रही है. That is very important. And secondly, like I said, when you help others, you grow your network. And like it said, your network is your net worth. ये याद रखना क्योंकि आपको नहीं पता कब कौन आपके काम आ जाएगा. कभी भी जब भी आपको when you keep giving ना, you will definitely have people around to help you. You will also help them. They'll also be there. So always don't cocoon yourself in college life. Just go meet, talk to people, you talk to industry people, all of that.
Yeah, it's so true, no one will go to a doctor and say, I don't agree with your diagnosis, or maybe you should do this. But design is such a field that it's a subjective thing, so everyone has an opinion to share. Please, let us hear from you also.
So this point you said was also on my list, but I'll... So what I wanted to say here is what I said in the beginning as well, is the most important thing which you can take yourself with, when you are going to be studying design is your passion. Now that is something which is the driving force for everything you want to excel in life. If there is lack of passion, see what I hear from a lot of industry in general and students who are going to industry is probably people are running behind a lot of higher salaries and money, and wherever there is more money, that field I will do, that study I will do, I will work with that company where this pays me more and stuff like that. So one thing which you have to understand very, very clearly is if you are very good in what you do, the world will come and get you. Everybody will want you. And that is something you need to be focusing on, especially when you're starting a journey to study. Focus to become the best in your area. Whatever that choice you'll make, just like go all in and become one of the top 10% in the world. Once you reach there, or once you achieve that, that is what will make all the difference in your life. And that is what will make people want you, come and get you kind of state. And one more important point here is, how I call this is, one concept I believe in, in general, about being a designer ourselves. What if we can't design our own life to suit our needs? This is something the concept is very dear to me, and this is something probably I feel I created for myself, is that you take those baby steps, take those little steps to get to where you want to. And for that, you need to define your goals of life very, very clearly. So that will happen, say, in 5 years, sometimes 3 years, sometimes even longer. But you're on track. This is your ultimate goal to reach there. And you're taking those steps to get there. And one more point which you can also use is, with technology changing every single day to a new height, to a new level, what you can do is a lot of experiment. Again, the traditional curriculums and modules, they may have an old curriculum, something which has been taught for years now. But you have to get out of that and never be afraid of experimenting. And never be afraid of failing also. Because the more you experiment, the more you fail. But that will lead you to get to something which is working someday. And if that happens, then you got it. And the feeling is amazing. When you do that once, you'll realize that, okay, I want to do more of failing and I want to gain one day. I want to win one day. And that is what I want to tell you all, that always never be afraid of experimenting. And designing as a life is a little advanced concept, but if the early you get to it, the better off you will be later in life. That's my take on.
Wow. I think we heard some fantastic points, and I can say with absolute certainty that, or at least I feel I can say with absolute certainty that one thing we can be sure of is that we don't know which way the futures will pan out. There are just too many uncertainties or how life may actually go. So having that curiosity, having that attitude to have a problem solving, have a problem solving mindset, it's even been identified by the United Nations as one of the critical skills that people need to develop. So in addition to your domain expertise and knowledge, have that problem solving, critical thinking as important skills that you're developing. Be curious, be willing to experiment, be willing to fail, and more importantly, every time you fail, you pick yourself up and you get going again. So I hope you learned some valuable inputs, from this particular discussion that we had. Okay, I'm going to move to a really interesting part, and it's a quick fire round. And in the interest of time, I'm going to request all of you to keep your answers limited to one word or really, really small, okay? And to keep it fair, we want each one of you to have a chance to go first. So for the first question, you can go first. And for the second question, you can go first. And third, you can go first. Okay. So my first question to you is, if you look back at successful new hires that you've had in your company or in your line, what did they have in common? What trait did they have in common?
To do attitude.
Okay, attitude. For you?
Same question?
Yeah, same question.
Oh yeah, integrity and a go-getter attitude.
Yes, please.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Okay, great. Okay, now Ratika, you go first. What's the biggest misconception that people have about creative careers?
Nothing is perfect. People say that, we just want to create something perfect. There's nothing perfect. It has to be perfect in your idea or vision. That's it.
Okay, please.
I would say the money.
So there's more, you're saying there's more money to be made in engineering or technology kind of jobs?
Initially, it does happen like that, because once when you develop yourself as a brand is when all the money starts coming in. So you really need to have that patience. You do not have to compare yourself with the B.Tech people or doctors also.
All said and done, that's why it's so important to become really good at what you do. Please.
Yeah.
What
You have to have that patience. Aega, paisa aega.
So it is not considered mainstream. Now that's changing though, but from where I started my career, that time it was just like chef was never considered mainstream. Same way, the design fields were for somebody who's, say, working part-time or probably staying at home. Those kind of jobs these were. But it's changing, I'm happy about it, but that's what I faced.
Okay, so this time you go first. Now this is a very overarching thing, if you give a single word answer. What comes first for you? The people or the process that you set? So suppose there's a situation where something's not going wrong. So what will you pay more attention to? The process or the people?
The timeline.
Timeline, okay.
For me, it's the process, because people can be trained based if the process is right.
It will come from what people are looking forward to, and hence I will change the process to suit the needs and demands.
There's no right answer for this, right? And that's what makes it so interesting. Okay. What skill do you value most, or what skill or attitude do you value most in yourself?
Okay. So, empathy. As a designer, it's very important to be empathetic, and without
Absolutely.
that, it just doesn't, you will not be able to make good designs.
Foundation of UX design is based on empathy. Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I think that solves major problems. That will determine the kind of team you will keep, and the attitude has to be positive. So I'm almost drawn to people who radiate that kind of energy. Because I'm giving that, I want that kind of team to build up with me.
Right.
For me, it's crisis management. Whenever I design, I always design for the most worst case. अगर worst case design कर लिया, तो बाकी सब तो smooth है.
So prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Now Ratika, you go first. Okay. What is the biggest mistake a person can make in an interview?
In an interview?
Yeah, interview.
Oh, lovely question. Guys, always listen to the question being asked. I think reference to context, being very crisp in what's being asked and delivering just that is very important. Because what we see in most of the cases is, बोला पूछा कुछ है, वो पूछा A है, आ रहा है B या C, you know? A का A, D का D. It has to be that.
Wonderful.
Sometimes it's a battle between what's right and wrong. Like, say for example, in an interview, you know that you are not good at it. You can very well come up and tell the interviewer that you do not know the answer, but at the back of your mind, you know that if you say that, you might not get that chance. So, like, you have to be a little manipulative and assertive, and you have to take the course or take that interview in such a way कि आपकी strengths पे वो ज़्यादा पूछे और जो आपको नहीं पता है उनको पता नहीं चलना चाहिए कि आपको ये नहीं आता. That is how you score sometimes.
Okay.
So one thing I've seen commonly happening is that people try to prove themselves a lot.
Right.
So before, you don't have to jump on that answer to prove your worth. You should first understand and only answer what is asked. So it is very, very evident for the viewer to see that you are kind of trying to oversell yourself or trying to tell more than you know. And to be patient, to be listening to the answer and then answering what's being asked is the key. Something related to what Ratika said. But yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, this is the last question, and Divya, you can go first. Now, this is really interesting, okay? If you could go back in time and tell your younger self one thing, what would you tell your younger self?
To believe in myself.
Okay.
Because I lost faith at multiple times. Yeah.
I will say to myself, everything is possible. I mean, every single thing is possible.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I have always been open to opportunities. I have never limited myself. So I feel that that has really worked well with me. Okay, fine, let's try this, let's do this. I never restricted myself. So that gave me the opportunity to explore various facets of my personality and integrate all of that into one. So पहले ये सोचते थे कि अच्छा ये field है, ये है, वो straight line सोच रहे हैं, वैसे ही करना है, वैसा नहीं है.
Right.
We're all multiple, personality traits that we all have.
I think it's been a fantastic, superb discussion. Before we move to the Q&A session, let's give our panel a wonderful applause.